We've got Huawei's new Mate 20 Pro and the P20 Pro from earlier this year, and we wanted to see how both these phones fare in a real-world speed test, knowing the differences in their internals. With both phones freshly booted, we'll first check fingerprint scanning. On the Mate 20 Pro, you find an in-display fingerprint scanner, and comparatively, it is slower than the P20 Pros. I also thought we'd test Huawei's new Face Unlock here, which shows it's much faster than the in-screen scanner and almost keeps up with the hardware fingerprint scanner on the P20 Pro. Before we start the test, let's make sure that both these phones are connected to the same Wi-Fi networks and are running their latest software. Just as a heads up, the software on the Mate 20 Pro is pre-release and we'll most probably see an update on launch day. I'll also go into the camera application to switch to the selfie mode and have an identical 4K video loaded up in the background to render through the first round of the speed test. With all that in check, let's start the stopwatch. Through the first row of applications, it looks like both phones are keeping up with each other. Loading up content on social media is about 1 to 2 seconds off, which doesn't make a major real-world difference. The overall functioning and responsiveness of both phones is also pretty identical. But before we head into the gaming row, we'll render the video we loaded up earlier. Even through the render, the P20 Pro actually keeps the very narrow lead it had going into the render, which shows how capable Huawei's Kirin 970 from last year still is. The slight variation in speed could very well be due to pre-release software on the Mate 20 Pro, but when loading the games, the Mate 20 Pro really steps it up. Game loading times were much faster on the Mate 20 Pro, and despite my fumbling, it catches up to the P20 Pro at Asphalt 9. Here, the P20 Pro takes a very long time in loading the game, whereas on the Mate 20 Pro, it is much faster, and the Mate 20 Pro ends up finishing the first round of the test in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. While the P20 Pro is still on its first round, the Mate 20 Pro moves through the second round of the test. At 2 minutes and 59 seconds, we see the P20 Pro finish the first round of the test, when the Mate 20 Pro is a full 2 rows of applications ahead. This next round is more to judge memory management, and with both phones having 6GB of RAM, this is normally not an issue. For the Mate 20 Pro, that is the case, as it breezes past the second round having to reload not a single application. But for the P20 Pro, it's not quite that. It had to reload both Crossy Road as well as Smash Hit, while the Mate 20 Pro here completes the entire test in 3 minutes and 22 seconds. As for the P20 Pro, having kept Dead Trigger 2 and Asphalt 9 in memory is a good sign, and it too finishes the test around 30 seconds later at 3 minutes and 51 seconds. The prowess of Huawei's new processing technology in the Kirin 980 is highlighted here with an all-rounded experience from the Mate 20 Pro, and with further software updates to come, the experience can only get better. That's all from me. Thank you guys for watching this speed test, and subscribe for more Mate 20 Pro content, including camera comparisons and new speed tests coming up very shortly. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.